Ria Bond.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I rise on behalf of New Zealand First and my colleague Barbara Stewart to talk about tonight in the Committee of the Whole House the financial assistance for live organ donors bills. Mr Chair, this is a good bill, and New Zealand First feels that this bill should have come to the House a lot sooner than it has, although we do understand the passage and journey that it has taken in terms of the time of 12 months that it's spent through this House Select Committee time to make sure that this bill was able to have significant changes made to it. And when it got to the House, that it was a bill that that represented everything that a member's bill should represent, Mr Chair, and what it should do, and that's to enhance and remove barriers for the betterment, to make a difference, no matter how big or how small, to the lives of New Zealanders. So, Mr Chair, New Zealand First supports the recommendations from the House Select Committee to change the title of this bill from the Financial Assistance for Live Organ Donors Bill to the Compensation for Live Organ Donors Bill. This is justified because it provides donors with the appropriate compensation for lost income of doing such a selfless act that will have a significant impact on their lives, not only of the organ recipient but also to the donor themselves. This is a life-changing decision, and we believe that this bill and the title will reflect the fact that it's not a mere financial assistance, but is actually to recognise the significance of the importance of this bill. New Zealand First believes that it is vital that live donors should neither be financially disadvantaged or financially advantaged from donating organs. The concerns raised by the Attorney-General with regards to the New Zealand Bill of Rights Act has been taken on board by the Select Committee, who has accepted that there are beneficiaries who may receive income and be entitled to compensation, or people who may work part-time and receiving the New Zealand Super Ann or even our veterans' pension. New Zealand First supports the cost neutrality for donors by increasing the original compensation rate from 80% to 100% of lost income. New Zealand First does recognise that there are additional issues that do come about post-organ donations and also, prior or pre-organisation organ donations and prior to. And we realise that the recovery rate for some people take longer than what it does for other people as well. The new Clause 4 does provide a definition of what are qualifying organs. This was good to see, Mr Chair. We think in New Zealand First that it's important to define that not only is the donor a person who donates to a person, funded by the Public Health Service here in New Zealand, but the definition further sets out organs as the whole or part of any human organ, such as the liver, the kidney, or any other organ declared by regulations to be a qualifying organ. Just want to touch briefly on new Clause 29, which is like the regulations. This will provide the Governor-General, by order of Council, with the recommendation to the Minister of Health to make regulations declaring human organs to be a qualifying organ. It's good. This is actually really good, Mr Chair, because this bill has also been future-proofed for donor transplants that are currently carried out in other countries but not here in New Zealand. And these include small bowel, pancreas and lumbola lung transplants. We're also pleased to see the committee has allowed for new entitlements to be backdated for eligible donors to the date this bill receives the royal assent. This further takes away the deterrent to people who want to donate but hold back from donating an organ. In summary, Mr Chair, New Zealand First supports the member Chris Bishop's bill. This won't, however, deal with the issue of the low organ donor rates here in New Zealand, but it will enable people who need help to get the help that they do need to get. And these are members of our communities, our families and our friends. This bill, as I said earlier, is what members' bills should represent. It should be what it is all about, and that is to the betterment of New Zealanders. So thank you, Mr Chair.
Ko Reno Turakatini.
Thank you. Excuse me.